Hey everybody, I'm Cokeman 250 and this is Positively Preparing. Why don't you come with me on my preparedness journey? Maybe we can learn something together. Let's do this. Hey everybody, Cokeman 250 here. Tonight on Fireside Chats, I'm going to talk to you about my intentions with sharing the Live Frugal tips of the day and why I'm branching out on Facebook and Twitter and put up a blog. Really what it all comes down to is debt-free. And being debt-free is a major thing with me in particular, but nobody wants to feel like they are a slave to somebody. And when you owe somebody a debt, it's like when you've loaned a buddy $100. Or you've loaned friends, money or family money. They don't come around. Or if you've ever borrowed money. I know I've borrowed money from people before, and you kind of stay away from them a little bit because you owe them. You're indebted to them. And when you're indebted to somebody, especially like with your mortgage and other things at home, you kind of feel bound. You can't express your freedoms because you got to do certain things to make that payment. And it may be things that you don't want to do or you don't enjoy doing anymore. And it's a spider web, if you will, of indebtedness. Say you work a job and you don't particularly care for it, but you got to do it to make your mortgage, and you got to do it to pay your bills, whatever, Well, for that job, you got to have a way to get to that job, and you want a dependable way to get to that job. So then you go out and buy a new vehicle, and you got a new vehicle because you want to feel safe on your way to work each day, so you can pay your mortgage. And then you're working overtime to pay for the car. And then all of a sudden you got a little more money because you've been working all this overtime, and you feel like you're drugged down from all the work you've been doing, and you want something to just kind of let loose with. So you go buy a four-wheeler. And you buy a four-wheeler, you got a buddy who's got a four-wheeler, you buy a four-wheeler, and you're going out on, Saturdays, and you're four-wheeler riding with your buddies, and and then your friend, he's like, hey, let's take this big trip. So then you got to work some more overtime, maybe even get a second job, because you want to earn the money to go on this big trip with your buddies. And you got to have insurance on that new car. And you got to have insurance on that four-wheeler because you're paying payments on it. And when money gets tight, you take from your grocery money. I mean, let's all face it. Anybody who's there and the debt's piling up and the bill collectors are calling, how much can you pay this week, Mr. Cokeman? Well, I can pay $40. Okay, thank you. Where does that money come from? Well, it's going to come from your food budget. for that week. And this is the life. I'm going through the typical life of an average American. I'm not going through the life of people who are prepared, most likely. I'm going through the life of an average American. And most average Americans are caught in this spider web. And then all of a sudden you need new clothes. Well, you can't afford new clothes, but you got to have good looking clothes to, to represent your job. So you got your new car, you got your insurance, you got your four-wheeler to have fun and release stress on the weekends. And you're saving up for that big trip, and you're working overtime, you're tired. Okay, so you got to have clothes. So you go out and get you a credit card to a clothing store. Okay, and then you run that credit card up, and you're paying $15 a month on it. And then a couple years down, or 6 months down the road, you've ripped a pair of pants out on the four-wheeler. You need a new pair of boots or shoes. So you get you another credit card. And pretty soon you've taken so much away from your food budget, you can't, you're hungry, so you go get you another credit card. And you go get another credit card, and you go get another credit card. And your car breaks. You go get another credit card. And your AC unit at your home breaks, and you go get a second mortgage on your house. And la-di-da-di-da, before you know it, they got you. And they had you long before you ever get to this point. They had you a long time ago. And I was there. I was there at that point. And as I've said a lot in my videos over the last 4 years, I've really worked on getting myself out of debt. Am I there yet? No, not debt free, but I am working on it. But the thing you got to remember is, don't try to keep up with your buddies. Learn to say no. Hey, you want to go eat lunch with us today? Knowing you have no money, but you do have a checkbook, and they happen to be going somewhere where they take a check that you can float until Friday when you get paid. Because everywhere in your town that will take a check without running it through right then. Instead, say no. I brought my lunch today. Or no, I think I'm going to work through lunch today, try to get home a little early, and I'll just grab something when I get home. A lot of it is just standing up and doing the right thing. Doing the right thing with your finances. I've been there, folks. I know it's an awkward position to say no to somebody that wants you to go out and eat lunch with them. I know it's an awkward position when somebody wants you to go out and do something with them and you don't have the money, and you don't want to say, well, I don't have the money. But once you start saying, no, I don't have the money, it will be more relaxing to you. It'll be easier to say. And believe me, it won't take too long to get pretty caught up when you start saying no thank you. But I'm still, it seems like the harder I try to get out of debt, the further I get away from it. But you got to stay, keep your nose to the grindstone, keep at it. Because being debt free is the only true way to have freedom. And a lot of people might tell you different, and there may be a lot of people who say your credit score, you need your credit score. I agree, you need your credit score to buy a house. You got to have a decent credit score. And you're going to need a credit score to buy a vehicle. But folks, save all the money you can now, especially if you're young. Save all the money you can, say no to credit cards, go on a cash-only basis, And what you want to do is, while you're young, you want to live like nobody else, so that in the future you can live like nobody else. When everybody else is living it up when they're young on credit, don't be that guy. And when everybody else is older and they're paying off all this debt that they've incurred when they were younger, then you own everything you have. You don't owe nobody anything. And you can go buy that motorhome if you want for 40 grand. Save the money. It won't take long to save money when you don't have no debt. And then whenever you stack self-reliance on top of debt-free, like heating your house with fire, wood, or what other means that's cheaper than whatever your house is set up to use. I have electric heat at my house. I probably won't even turn it on this year. I plan on heating my whole house with wood. The baby's a little older now. You know, it can get down to 60 degrees, you know, in the middle of the night. Doesn't bother me. You know, get an electric blanket for each of the kids. We all got them on our beds. Get used to wearing clothes. You know, cover up. A blanket, a $5 fleece blanket, a fleece throw is going to be a whole lot cheaper than running that heater on 72 or whatever normal temperature that most people put it on. Save money, folks. I have a yearning desire in my heart to spread the message of save money and get out of debt. I'm not there, but I want to be, and I want it so bad I can almost taste it. Because the country, folks, you see where it's at. And there are no steps being taken to make it better. So it's got to start with us. And I said this the other day in a video, but it's got to start with us. The people, the best place, the people who make YouTube videos, get your message out. We got to start doing something. Because where's the country headed if nobody does anything? We have to start teaching the people around us. If they're offended by the word prepper because of what the TV's done to it, don't even keep prepper out of it. Keep preparing out of it. Talk to them about saving money. Because when you come down to it, folks, one of the biggest things to prepping is saving money. Unless you're a millionaire, you'll never be able to prep unless you save money and then use the money you save to prep. But the people around us don't have to use that money to prep. Just pay their debts off and live debt free. What could a country do if the people weren't doing things they didn't like doing and they had to do them every day? And you could actually use your brain to invent things and discover things and work on things and make things better than worrying about what's going on today because I got to pay my mortgage. We have to free ourselves from the bondage of debt. Just like Jesus paid the debt for us on the cross, we have to pay our debts so that we can live free in the world before we get to our heavenly home. Folks, this is very important to me. Spread the message of saving money. Live frugal, folks, and pay your debts off. This is Coke Man 250 from the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless everybody. And remember, prep smarter and pray harder.